Yo, I don't even know how to begin without choking up. But Mendeecees walked into that courtroom like it was just another day, like he was gonna order a pizza. But instead, he dropped a bomb that had everyone on edge. And I'm talking bombs. We're talking screenshots, voice messages, and texts. Everything Mendeecees had been holding onto. And the moment he pulled it out, it was like the entire court froze. You could feel the tension in the air. It was palpable. People were gripping their seats, wide-eyed, ready for what was coming next, because they knew. They knew. This wasn't going to be just another courtroom drama. This was about to be something legendary, and this wasn't your typical baby mama drama. Oh no, this was next level. Dark, dirty, and as manipulative as it gets. Word around the court was that Erica wasn't just playing the role of the victim. No, she was playing an actress in the most sinister drama you could imagine, and Mendeecees had the receipts to prove it. This was no longer about who was telling the truth. It was about who had the power to prove their version of the story was, the one that mattered. This wasn't just about some messy relationship gone wrong. This was about exposure, and not the kind you want. Mendeecees wasn't about to hold back, and neither were the people in that courtroom, who were gripping their seats as if they knew they were about to witness something legendary, something no one would ever forget. Some of them had their phones out, preparing for the fallout. Social media was going to explode. Erica had been doing the most, crying fake tears, planting stories, lying through her teeth about that baby. But guess what? Mendeecees wasn't buying it. He wasn't about to be her scapegoat. Mendeecees dropped those receipts like a heavyweight fighter throwing his last knockout punch. And what he exposed wasn't pretty, at all. It was like pulling back the curtain and revealing the ugly truth behind Erica's carefully constructed facade. Every lie, every manipulation, every bit of drama she had staged, it was all being laid bare for the world to see. Imagine this: Erica lying on that hospital bed, pretending to be the heartbroken, innocent mother. And then Mendeecees, with a cold look on his face like he's been waiting for this moment, stands up and says, "Not today. I've got the proof. I've got the texts. I've got the voice memos, and you can't deny it anymore." The courtroom went quiet. Too quiet. It was like the air had been sucked out of the room. Every single person in that courtroom knew. This wasn't a regular case. This wasn't just a fight over a baby. This was a fight for survival. Reputations were on. The line careers were being decided in front of the world, and then, bam. The first message hit the court, and the room felt like it was suffocating. The tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. All eyes locked on Mendeecees as he revealed Erica's web of lies. Every word he spoke, every message he exposed, added another layer to the truth that had been hidden for so long. The entire courtroom held its breath. You could hear a pin drop. There was no turning back now. And the kicker? Erica didn't even know what hit her. Mendeecees said under oath that the whole pregnancy could have been part of a setup, a scheme, a game. And you want to know what Erica did? She tried to jump in, tried to defend herself, but she was shut down so fast you'd think she'd been struck by lightning. Yandy too, she tried to object, but the judge didn't let anyone interrupt. He needed to hear it all. He was done with the games. His patience was thin, and he was determined to let the truth speak for itself. At this point, it wasn't about TV drama or a storyline cooked up by the producers. This was the real deal, the kind of mess you can't fake, the kind of mess that'll make or break careers. The audience watching in that courtroom, they knew it. Yandy was shaking in her boots. She wasn't just a character in a reality TV show anymore. This was her real life being dragged through the dirt, her reputation about to get buried under a pile of lies. She had tried to stay quiet, to remain neutral, but now it was clear. There was no neutrality. She was just as involved as Erica. And let me tell you, when Mendeecees dropped those voice messages, it wasn't just Erica who turned pale. The judge, the bailiffs, the lawyers, they couldn't even process it. They were in shock. Nobody expected this kind of bombshell. Nobody thought Mendeecees would be the one to expose the ugly truth. He wasn't just throwing stones, he was throwing boulders. And every single one hit its mark. You've got to understand the full picture, though. Mendeecees had been through the fire before. He wasn't perfect. No, not by a long shot. This man's rap sheet was longer than your grandmother's Sunday church dresses. But this time he wasn't the villain. He was the one telling the truth. And Erica? She was caught in a lie so massive, it could have brought down an empire. And she didn't just get caught, she got exposed. Live. In front of the whole world. The way Mendeecees played it? Cold. Calculated. Every move was precise. He didn't just bring a few texts to the table. He brought timestamps, locations, video footage of Erica doing the most. At one point, he played a video where she was caught on tape telling him, "You promised you'd play along. You can't back out now." The whole courtroom went silent again. You could hear a pin drop. What the hell was going on? A fake pregnancy? A fake custody battle? Was this all part of the grand scheme for a love and hip-hop storyline? And now we know that Mendeecees wasn't playing around. He didn't just keep his receipts. He made sure they were airtight. Every text, every message, every piece of evidence pointed to one thing. Erica had been manipulating the entire situation for her own gain. And that's when things took a darker turn. Erica didn't just cry. She threatened. She manipulated. She schemed. One leaked voice memo even had Erica telling Mendeecees, "If you're not going to claim this baby, I swear to God I'll ruin everything you have. Your brand, your deals, your marriage, I'll burn it all." Bruh, that doesn't sound like a mother. That sounds like someone plotting the destruction of everything in their path. That's a villain origin story if I've ever heard one. And the twist? It wasn't just the courtroom that was in chaos. Social media was already in overdrive. Erica was trending. Mendeecees was trending. But this wasn't a TV moment. This was real life. And fans knew they were witnessing something epic. Mendeecees wasn't just showing off texts. He was showing the truth. The truth Erica didn't want anyone to see. The kind of truth that destroys everything in its path. But let's take a step back. How did we even get here? How did we go from a messy reality show feud to this courtroom disaster? Weeks before this, Erica dropped that bomb on Instagram, claiming Mendeecees was the father of her baby. The world went nuts. Headlines exploded. Blogs couldn't write fast enough. And of course, Yandy was caught in the middle. This was the stuff that made headlines. And then, the DNA test came out. The world thought it was over. But Mendeecees wasn't done. Not by a long shot. Through his legal team, he started questioning the DNA results. And that's when it all unraveled. He had the proof. Erica had been playing a dangerous game, and it wasn't just a drama moment for the cameras anymore. This was a life and death situation for her career, for her reputation, for everything she thought she'd built. And it all came crashing down with one message, and then another, and then another. Erica tried to backpedal, but it was too late. Mendeecees wasn't letting her off the hook. The world saw it all, and it didn't stop there. The twist just kept coming. According to one of Mendeecees' team members, the messages exposed more than just Erica's manipulation. They showed how she'd been trying to set him up from the start, threatening him with the baby, using it as leverage. And the final blow? The shocking revelation that Erica might have been behind the entire setup. The pregnancy, the custody drama, the entire chaotic mess. Mendeecees wasn't just fighting for his reputation. He was fighting to prove that he wasn't the villain in this story. He was the one being played. Now, just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, boom, Mendeecees delivers the ultimate blow. This wasn't some petty back and forth over a baby. No, this was a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, and Mendeecees wasn't going to let Erica get away with it. As the room held its breath, the atmosphere shifted. What had started as a courtroom drama now felt like a public execution of Erica's career, reputation, and everything she'd worked for. Every second felt like an eternity. People were glued to their seats, their eyes wide with disbelief. No one could have predicted this. While everyone in the courtroom was reeling from the revelation of the texts and voice memos, Mendeecees sat, back in his seat, calm and composed, like he'd been preparing for this moment his entire life. No more tears, no more pretending. He wasn't going to be the villain, not today. His silence was deafening, but in that silence, it spoke volumes. His eyes locked on Erica, and you could see the weight of the entire situation on his face. He wasn't playing around anymore. He had waited for this moment. He was done being the bad guy in this narrative. He was taking control, and while the rest of the world was glued to their screens, some people in the courtroom couldn't help but look at each other in shock. Erica's lawyer was sweating bullets. She tried to stay composed, tried to give the usual lawyerly defense, but it was clear she was losing her grip. Her voice cracked as she tried to speak, but the damage had been done. Mendeecees had already made his point. The truth was out. But that wasn't the worst part. No. The worst part was when the court recessed for the break. Everyone thought it was over. Everyone thought Mendeecees had exposed everything. But behind closed doors, things were getting darker. Much darker. A few court insiders said they overheard Erica's team in full damage control mode. They were frantically making phone calls, desperately trying to get ahead of the narrative. But they were too late. The truth was out. Mendeecees had already set the record straight, and there was no turning back. The leaks started almost immediately. Social media exploded with even more damning evidence. Videos, more screenshots, even private texts between Mendeecees and Erica surfaced. And the thing that made it worse? They didn't just talk about the pregnancy, they talked about manipulation. Erica had been orchestrating the entire thing like some kind of sick chess game. She was playing everyone. Mendeecees, Yandy, even the entire public. And now, the world was watching as her life unraveled. The walls were closing in. One text in particular caught the media's attention. It was a direct message from Erica to Mendeecees. "I'll make sure you regret ever turning your back on me. Your reputation is about to get destroyed. I'll burn everything down," she said. A threat like that? Not from a mother, from a woman playing a dangerous game. But Mendeecees didn't flinch. He wasn't afraid anymore. This was his moment of redemption. As the next day unfolded, the courtroom drama intensified. Lawyers for both sides were fighting tooth and nail to hold on to whatever shred of dignity they had left. But Erica's defense team? They were losing. They were grasping at straws. Each of their attempts to fight back only made them look weaker. Every objection was overruled. Every argument was shredded by the cold, hard facts that Mendeecees laid out. It was like watching a slow-motion train wreck. And Mendeecees was in control. And you want to know what made it even worse? Erica started to crack. She couldn't keep up the act. Her bravado was slipping. The woman who had always been in control, always the one who dictated the narrative, was losing it. She was no longer the queen of the reality show. She wasn't even a princess. She was just a woman, caught in a lie, trying to save face. But it was too late. Everyone knew. The evidence was too overwhelming. The truth had been exposed, and it was uglier than anyone had imagined. While all of this was going on, Yandy was watching. She was silent in the background, but you could tell it was eating her alive. The woman who had built a career on being the strong, supportive partner was now dragged into this mess. Yandy wasn't just a bystander in all of this. She had been a part of the story. And now she was caught in the crossfire. Her reputation was on the line. And the worst part? She knew it. She knew that when this was over, nothing would ever be the same again. She couldn't hide behind the cameras. She couldn't pretend like this was just another season of Love and Hip Hop. No, this was real life. And real life didn't give you a second chance. But Erica wasn't the only one who had to face the consequences. Mendeecees, though he had been vindicated, wasn't exactly out of the woods. Some people, some media outlets, still questioned his motives. Was he really telling the truth? Was he just trying to clear his name? And then there were those who looked at him with a sense of sympathy. Was he just another victim of Erica's manipulation? They asked. Some even thought the whole situation was his fault in the first place. But Mendeecees wasn't bothered. The truth was on his side now, and no one could take that from him. As the drama continued to unfold, fans started choosing sides. Team Erica or Team Mendeecees. The debates raged on. People took to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, posting memes, debating theories, and trying to make sense of it all. But the more people speculated, the more they realized this wasn't just a regular reality TV mess. This was something bigger. This wasn't about who got the last laugh or who came out on top. This was about a family being torn apart, about lies being exposed, and about the consequences of living your life in front of the camera. Mendeecees and Erica had crossed a line, and now they were both facing the fallout. Then came the next twist in the saga. Behind closed doors, Mendeecees' team was already working on what was next. They knew this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. There were still secrets to be uncovered. But Erica, she was reeling. She was in hiding, trying to regroup. Her publicist was busy sending out damage control statements. But the truth had already been set in motion. No PR team, no damage control, no apology was going to fix what had been broken. Erica was trying to hold on to whatever dignity she had left, but it was slipping through her fingers. The audience was already watching, and they weren't going to forget. As if things weren't already chaotic enough, an anonymous source, who, by the way, had already caused some serious stir, came forward with even more damning evidence. This time, it wasn't just about texts or voice memos. Oh no, this was the kind of stuff that would break anyone. A supposed secret video shot by Erica's assistant surfaced. And in this video, Mendeecees was seen pacing in a hotel room, holding a drug kit and rambling about how he was done with the whole situation. A tape like that, if it got out, it could ruin Mendeecees' credibility once and for all. But here's the thing. The video never saw the light of day. Not yet anyway. But the rumors about it were enough to send shockwaves through the media. And Erica? She wasn't talking anymore. She wasn't posting cryptic tweets or dropping Insta stories. It was like she had disappeared. Mendeecees was moving on with his life, putting the pieces back together. But for Erica, this was just the beginning. This was the point where her entire world could come crashing down. The worst part? No one really knew the truth. Was Erica truly the mastermind behind this entire scandal? Or had she just been swept up in the chaos of a reality show gone too far? And what about Mendeecees? Was he the victim, or was he just as guilty of playing a part in this messy web of lies? Everyone had their theories, but the only thing that was certain? This story was far from over. The next chapter was about to drop, and trust, it was going to be even more explosive than anything that had come before.